have to talk to you about self-worth. Self-worth is so important for each and every one of us. It's your value. It's your sense of worth, your self-worth, what you're worth and valuable not only to yourself, but to other people. And when it comes to our relationship, our human relationships, whether it's romantic, casual, business, ministry-wise, all of our relationships are determined and built on self-worth and value. People will treat you how you let them treat you. They'll get away with what you allow them to get away with. And so it's important for you to set the stage and the standard for your self-worth and not allow other people to set your value. When other people set your value, they will always undervalue you. You know, we're built as human beings to want a good bargain, to want a discount, especially in our consumer society. We're always looking for a deal. And so we carry that same attitude in when we're dealing with each other. We're always looking for a bargain, and we'll undervalue each other if we all allow that to happen. So it's important for you to set your self-worth and value. Don't you know that in business and in terms of products, the marketplace sets the value, the consumer sets the value. They will tell you what they will pay for a certain thing, depending on how valuable it is to them or what it's worth to them. But also the creator of the product or the thing also sets the value. And so you have to know what you're worth. The Bible says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't you know that you're invaluable in God's eyes? You're worth more than this earth itself. And so therefore, you're worth more than the rubies, the gold, the diamonds, any monetary compensation, any sort of currency. You're worth more than all of that because you're invaluable. And so you have to let people know how much you're worth, that you're indispensable, that you're worth more than they can afford, that you are an asset and not a liability. Self-worth and value is important. We value those things that we want and desire. We treat it most preciously. We treat it with the utmost importance. If you have a diamond that you pay millions of dollars for, you're going to take care of it. Anything that's worth anything to you, you'll take care of. Anything that's of great value to you, you will always make sure it's in good shape and in good condition. You don't handle things that are valuable just any kind of way. And so you shouldn't let other people handle you any kind of way because you're valuable and you're worth it. Let me tell you a story, a quick story about value and worth that I used to tell to the kids when I would go around teaching in the high schools and middle schools when I was a director for a pregnancy care center. And I would tell them this story, and let me tell you, one day, many years ago, there were these pots. And these pots, they lived in a mansion, a big house on the hills. And one day, these pots decided to talk to each other. Imagine that, talking pots. And in this village, in a faraway place, beautiful, majestic landscape, this big mansion on a hill, these pots decided to have a conversation. And so one pot was beautiful. It was perfect. It was a perfect pot. Nothing wrong with him. He was decorated and painted very nicely. Everyone else envied this pot because he was so beautiful. And he knew he was beautiful. He would boast and he would brag about his beauty and his greatness. Everybody admired him, even the guests that would come and visit the house. The servants who worked around the house and all the things that lived in the house admired this beautiful pot. And so one day he decided to have a conversation with another pot who wasn't so beautiful, who wasn't valuable in everyone else's eyes. This other pot, matter of fact, was broken, had some deficiencies and flaws about itself. And so this pot that was beautiful, that was perfect, that was whole, looked at this other pot and said, you know, the master should get rid of you. I don't even know why you are around. You're not as beautiful as I am. Look at me. I'm great. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfect. You can't find a spot or a blemish or a crack on me anywhere. I'm the most perfect pot. And so this other little pot began to cry and, began to think about the things that this other pot said to itself. And so then the master came in one day, and the pot was sad and sitting there, moping and crying. And the master said, "What's wrong, little pot?" And the little pot said, "Master, why don't you just throw me away? Why don't you get rid of me? I'm no good. Look at me. I'm not as beautiful as the other pot. I'm not as perfect. I got this crack inside of me. I'm broken." And then the servant said, "Oh, I see. Why don't you come with me?" And so then the servant of the house that usually handled all the chores and things took the little pot, picked him up, and said, "Come, follow me." They went around the house. They went outside. They began to walk throughout the landscape, the gardens, the trees, the bushes, the grass of the house. And the servant said, "You see all of this?" And the little pot said, "Yes, I see." They went over to the flower beds. "Do you see these beautiful flowers?" "Yes, master, I see," the little pot said. Then he took them down to the gardens. "Do you see these beautiful, lush gardens?" "Yes," the little pot said, "I see." And so then the servant walked the little pot down by the riverbed and beyond all of the rocks and the bushes and the landscape, the lush greenery on the river. And the servant said, "Do you see all of this?" And the little pot said, "Yes, I see it all. Everything you're showing me, I see. I see it every day, matter of fact, when you walk with me." And the servant said, "That's right. Don't you know that every day that we're together and I take you out and I walk with you along the grass, the trees, the flowers, the river, don't you know that I'm actually using you and watering the grass and the trees with you? Don't you know that it is you that I go with early in the morning to begin my duties and to make sure all of the gardens are taken care of, all of the trees are watered?" And the little pot said, "Yes, I notice now." And he said, "That's because you are a watering pot. You are so valuable to me. You are worth more than you ever know. If it wasn't for you, all of what you see around here wouldn't be as beautiful as it is." I don't know what your flaws are. I don't know what mistakes you've made. I don't know what it is about you that you don't like. But God can use your flaws and your mistakes for his glory. He could use everything about you to make this world more beautiful. You just have to know your worth and your value. You may be little in the eyes of someone else, but you're much in the hands of God. Don't let anybody ever devalue you. Don't let anybody underappreciate you, because you're worth much more than you know.